so much. It's so lovely to be here for you tonight. And it gives me a great pleasure to welcome our first featured guest of the evening, a writer she's flown in from Bangkok. Right? Yeah? The rest of them have come from like Neasden and West Harleston, right? Yeah? But first feature is from Bangkok, so please put your hands together. Can we hear a massive welcome? Poetry and Poppadums debut for Purnima.
Well, good evening, everyone. I hope you're having as wonderful a night as I am so far. I am absolutely delighted to be here to perform to such an amazing audience today at Poetry and Poppadums. I love the fun and alliterative name of this event, by the way. Fantastic title. Before I get started, I just want to say a huge thank you to Paul Lyalls for being such an incredible and enthusiastic host, providing poets with such a dynamic platform to showcase their work and supporting the art of spoken word, which I know all of us here are so deeply passionate about. Spoken word has the power to bring people together. It's transformative, it's magical, and it unites us all, doesn't it? So can we all, first of all, give Paul a huge round of applause? As a poet, I write and perform poems to inspire, empower, uplift, and provoke change. I hope my poetry does just that for you today. In my first set, I will perform a collection of activist poems that aims to essentially ignite creativity. These poems remind you that your voice matters. We artists play such a crucial role in standing up for causes that we believe in. We possess a collective strength, a social responsibility, and a distinctive voice in our pursuit of a more just and equal world where every act of expression intends to create positive change. So here we go. It's called Art is a Symphonic Battlefield. Art is a symphonic battlefield where I am the warrior armed with palettes and pens, dueling with creativity whilst fueled by it again and again. Each stroke a declaration, a story I confide where words are my allies. Together we wage war on hard truths that transmutes darkness into newfound energy. Like swords, our brushes slashes through doubt. In the chaos of creation, canvases collide, casting away clouds. Here we find solace and release. We feast on whispers to defy oppression in this language of movement and stillness. We exist to tell stories untold, rebel against hate. Unity is our stronghold. I've grown armors to shield hearts from warfare, despair. But dreams will always be sculpted from stones. No matter how deeply wedged our words, our fiery hands are made to mold hope. Shape fragments of ourselves into something that we can all share. Craft verses and metaphors bring forth the soldier in us to take flight like a ballet dancer that sprints blindly in the night. Art is made by warriors who resound for peace, who take a stand, dance with paint on our hands. Art is a symphonic battlefield. You see, art is charged with electric ripples that pulsate from the center of our iron ore, our core. This magnetic field isn't a shield. It vibrates all the fields, attracting heart to heart. And when we leap right in and start in full force, no current is more voltaic, volatile, voracious than creative energy. Because our art is charged in transformative ways it conjures, roars, disorder in a world that defaultingly holds order. Our art is a weapon against oppression, a subdued hue that aims to harmonize, balance, mute the destructible noise. Our words must challenge, question, enrage, and set ablaze outdated attitudes for the new, neutral ways of being human. Because somewhere along the way, a human escaped its being. Our art is created by artists, with eyes wide open, oozing with a lust for life, inspired by all its greatness and strife. But when we witness injustice, our art unites to create a tool for change. Art means everything when it is shared. Give meaning. Thank you. Thank you very much. All for art. So much of my poetry also focuses on empowering marginalized and censored women's voices. My next poem, titled Embrace Equity, was written to honor International Women's Day 2023 and aims to inspire collective activism for change, challenging discrimination, gender biases, and gender stereotypes. It sparks conversations about the difference between equality and equity, urging us to strive for true inclusion and belonging. Embrace equity. Let's start the conversation. To break down ancient walls that cause division between you as man and me as woman. Let's put up a sign to evict the systems that oppress, that says we must raise a woman like a woman and a man like a man, for they only serve to create the illusion that one is less. Stories that we've never believed, but do more now than just read and see. We etch our own voices in the sands of time, rise, ignite the fuel for fair progress with newfound persistence, especially amidst resistance, so that we can equip generations of women in front of us with the same strength and perseverance of the courageous warriors behind us who dare to stand up, speak up, get involved in political action, activism, who didn't ask for more but the same chances so that we could take flight to spaces beyond the confines of domesticated places as dreamers, innovators, decision makers, leaders that soar in circles into the rising sun. For we've always known and shown that our wings are fueled by fire, not by stained glass fear, that we can build our homes in the skies and bellow, I belong here. You see, in the canvas of equality, our chances are pictured, painted the same. Despite the fact that we are all unique, we have been given the same tools to carve, cement, create ourselves, rather than allow ourselves to be marble, chiseled, and framed. For this, we've come a long way. But the portrait prize in this playing field doesn't end there. Some artists have access to a better brush, canvas, pedestal, and a diversity of women's voices still aren't represented in the big fair, made harder by the fact that we've been pushed back from the start. In some spaces, still compensated far from fair. Equity needs all of us to call a draw in the social justice game. In the canvas of equity, every individual has their fair share to create a space to be seen, succeed, based on their needs, not inhibited by difference. Here, every story will be uniquely drawn. Everyone can unfurl, stir for this kind of world. To embrace equity means our needs and capabilities are more than recognized. Our individual differences are respected, celebrated, not dismissed or rejected. You understand that not all of us were dealt the same hand, the same brush. And it's not just about gender, but race, sexuality, and birthplace. Even the winds of time have not fully blown away systemic strife. Surely you can't turn a blind eye to the future that you recognize. Surely you can't turn a blind eye to the challenges that you recognize. In order to be more inclusive than exclusionary, you must speak up for those who can only silently whisper, and conjure requires so that all voices synchronize to a future that equally binds, and rewrite policies to benefit all humankind, where all communities can ascend, for it is only then that barriers which cage success, suppress, will be removed that much faster. And then we can truly say that we have all built a canvas of the same size in order to paint our homes in the skies, where we can all reside with our ceaseless burning for new heights. And through it all, we rise and bellow, I belong here. Embrace equity. Thank you. How are we doing? So my next poem, titled Jigsaw Lady, interesting title, Jigsaw Lady, is inspired by the intricate tapestry of my cultural identity and explores the question of belonging. As a Thai Australian with Indian heritage, my roots trace back to my forefathers who migrated from pre-partitioned India to Thailand 6 generations ago in search of a place to assimilate. Adding to the cultural jackpot, I married a London-born British Indian whose parents migrated from Kenya to the UK, bringing with them their African heritages. Together, we embrace 4 cultural heritages. I've lived in 4 cities and 3 countries, leaving me often questioning where home really is. This poem invites you to ponder the question that resonates, I think, with so many of us. Where are you really from? Jigsaw Lady. I am from so many places that gave birth to me either by womb, hurt, love, or memory, encrusting layers to my growing identity. Yet I belong to none and no one at all, not even the places I inhabit now. For these places are only temporary spaces from which I turn inwards to go home. Disclaimer, I am not lost. I have moved like displaced puzzle pieces from one continent to another, one tongue to another, one skyline to another, one home to another, one postcode to another, one institution to another, one family to another, some friends to none. Not ever knowing the picture that my feet were forming as I tasted the circles outside of my box, only to be picked up, to be packed again, each time with more pieces than I can hold. Jigsaw Lady. They whisper these words through their bewildered eyes, always bejeweled by my flying cashmere carpet of hand-woven stories that tells the tales about who I am and where I'm from. Yet they ask quizzically, where are you from? As if the only correct answer could only ever be a place, one city, country, nationality, ethnicity, rather than our family's generational histories and oceanic journeys. As if all these ingredients need to be visibly plastered across my box in order to filter, locate me immediately like a barcode, like a GPS searching frantically for a missing item that's lost. Lost. Isn't that what they say we are when we hesitate to state where we're from? There's never enough space to sit within the confines of your identification and immigration form. Instead, I've come to sit well with their puzzlement, and so this puzzling metaphor was born. The jigsaw lady. We move like blurred lines, like clever chameleons whose skin is foreign, local, misplaced and displaced simultaneously. Sometimes our soft curved corners curl into ourselves, careful so as not to abrade the coarse edges of others, or slot too easily into picture frames in order to retain the picture of who we are and want to be. You see, we often deflect the dread question, instead yearn to be probed, peeled open, and pieced together. Because self-definition is too finite, final, fixed. It leaves no room for souls made of pigmented stardust like Haldi, gold leaf, and grounded basil leaves. Grounded I am, not by place or time, but by roots that bind. We break into pieces in order to understand the picture that we want to create when we put ourselves back together, piece by piece. You see, that's the thing about self-definition. We can evade it to constantly evolve, grow, change like a proud chameleon that relishes in the shifting hues of their own skin. Not having to answer to, what do you do, or where are you from? The freedom to not belong enables belonging to you. Be true. Thank you. Thank you very much so far. So I've got a final set for you. You've been such an amazing audience. It's absolutely incredible. So my final set gets you to ponder upon this question. Have you ever felt the exhilaration of defining conformity, knowing that your greatest strength lies in embracing your individuality? Let's indulge in the beauty of existing outside the confines of societal expectations, shall we? The messy, the fragmented, the spontaneous, the artful, and unpredictable. I've never been a conformist, and that's my biggest strength. You see, there is a degree of certainty that comes with not being part of a pack that howls, nor one that bleats at the same time for the same reasons. That certainty is your unpredictability, your ability to be messy, fragmented, and loved all at once. To be outside, between, but never within the lines, because you've never drawn one. Between the lines. I'm somewhere within the realm of the in-between, fueled by emotions, fiery embrace, while it's obstructed by rationality's calculated grace, haste, teetering somewhere between the past and the future, not quite tethered to the present, a nomad of time and transition. Somewhere between forgetting the moments where I soared and clinging to those that anchor me down. Somewhere between releasing and holding on, gripping, suspended, caught in the balance, a bridge connecting the old me and the me of yet to meet. Between the chasm of self-doubt and confidence. Between a thirst of learning and knowledge overflowing with knowing. Between the confines of the known and the allure of the unknown. Somewhere between existence and escape, between recreating the past and forging the future, changing shape, between acceptance and expansion in this domain of transformation. Most of all, I'm growing amidst and between states in this fertile ground for change. I must remain unyielding and brave. Growth is what I cultivate to get from here to where I want to be. Grow with me as I traverse the in-between. So I need to come back to myself. I need to come back to myself, to the heart that plays, rolls down hills, unafraid of being splintered along the way. In these moments that we skirt outside the mind and throw mud balls to the sky, and don't count every step that we skip, we are most alive and creative. This heart that's just made to create art, this heart that just wants to play, I will come back to myself today. So, let me wonder. Let me wonder with the moonbeam chasers, stargazers, fearless embracers, the trailblazers who are unafraid to navigate the universe with their eyes closed, for they are attuned to the secrets that the heavens hold. And when we collide, let us sink into velvet cloaks of the night and ride cosmic winds in their chase to infinity. As we soar, we'll leave footprints on celestial shores, bathe in the moon's gentle light, untamed, wild. Stardust strewn and starry-eyed, we will sleep with our eyes wide open, reflecting the constellations. Earthly compasses can't trace us to this realm where possibilities know no end. Here we dance on comet trails, break into stars, paint galactic playgrounds with nebulous hues. So let me wonder. Let me wonder with the moonbeam chasers. Thank you very much.
Come on, people, give it up, please, for Purnima.